On February 16th, the sky will shine with a special light. Venus will reach the peak of its brightness, and it will be impossible to hide its radiance. But there is more to this rare astronomical phenomenon. It's not just a play of light and shadows, it's a message from the universe that can change a lot of things in your life. The peak brightness of Venus occurs only once every 19 months. On this night, it will flare up with such force that its light will cut through even the thickest darkness. But is it possible to let this moment pass by? For some, it will be just a reminder. For others, it will be a door that opens only once every year and a half. The main thing is, will you be able to recognize the sign and take advantage of a chance that may not happen again? In astrology, Venus is not only the planet of love and beauty. Her energy is deeper than it seems. It is connected with fate, with karmic knots and moments of choice that determine the future. On this day, her influence will become so powerful that it can shed light on the most intimate secrets of your life. Some will see in it only the movement of the planet, others, a sign that can direct them to a new one. But it is important not only to notice this light, but also to understand what to do with it. What changes will this day bring? Why is this energy able to influence feelings, fate, and key decisions? How do you recognize the signs of the universe and not miss this moment? And most importantly, how do you act so that this light leads you to where you should have come long ago? About all this, further, about what Venus wants to show you, what secrets she is ready to reveal, and how to use her light to illuminate your path. When Venus shines so brightly, its light becomes not just a phenomenon in the night sky. It is a kind of cosmic sign that can change the perception of reality. In ancient cultures, she was called the morning and evening star, but her influence is much deeper than it seems. It is connected not only with physical light, but also with what remains beyond logic, intuition, fate, and subtle energy flows that control our lives. What does its brightness really mean? Venus is not just a planet, but a key symbol of love, karma, and destiny. In mythology, she has always been associated with trials, temptations, and inner transformations through feelings. In astrology, it governs harmony, balance, relationships, and what we truly value. But what happens when her light reaches its maximum? At such moments, deep awareness is activated. The issues that we have been pushing into the background for a long time are becoming impossible to ignore. Feelings that were hidden suddenly come to the surface. The illusions that seemed unshakable are beginning to crumble. The maximum brightness of Venus is a spotlight illuminating hidden truths. She exposes everything that was hidden, in relationships, in thoughts, in feelings. It makes you reconsider your role in life-changing events and wonder if your path leads to true harmony. It pushes you to choose whether to continue living in the old patterns or finally see reality for what it is. But it is important to understand that this energy does not act directly and obviously. This is not a moment of sudden decisions, sudden disasters, or instantaneous changes. It's a subtle but profound process in which the universe seems to put a mirror in front of you. Some will feel an inner excitement, as if something important is coming. Some will begin to notice signs that had previously passed their attention. Some will experience an epiphany when they realize the truth about themselves, their desires, and the people around them. But one thing is for sure, this moment will not pass without a trace. If right now you feel a slight anxiety or a strange clarity, if you feel that something is calling you, something is changing, know that this is not an accident. It is the energy of Venus that speaks to you. The only question is, are you ready to hear it? When Venus reaches its maximum brightness, its influence goes beyond the inner world and begins to shape events around it. It's not just a beautiful light in the sky, it's a catalyst for change, triggering a chain of events that can change fate forever. This moment is like a thin line between the old and the new, between what can no longer remain in the shadows and what must manifest itself in reality. How does the energy of Venus trigger life events? In astrology, Venus is traditionally associated with love, relationships, values, and material well-being. But at the moment of its peak radiance, it acts as an energy spotlight, highlighting aspects of life that need rethinking or transformation. This is the time when karmic knots unravel or tighten more tightly, and accidents turn into fateful meetings and events. If something in your life has been dragging on in uncertainty for a long time, whether it's relationships, work, or your life path, the light of Venus can bring unexpected clarity and push you to make decisions that can no longer be postponed. This day seems to force people to make a choice, to stay in the old scenarios or move forward. Why can fateful meetings, breakups, and changes take place right now? Fateful meetings. Venus is a magnetic energy that connects the right people at the right time. During this period, you may meet someone who will play a key role in your life, whether in love, friendship, or partnership. This meeting may seem random, but in fact, it has long been planned by the universe. The breakups that were supposed to happen. If the relationship or connections were based only on an illusion, Venus will reveal their true nature. Anything that has no value can collapse, making room for a new one. It is often during this period that people realize that some connections have outlived their usefulness, and it is time to move on. Changes in the field of work and finance. Venus is associated not only with emotions, but also with well-being. During such periods, unexpected offers, career turns, awareness of true values, and a reassessment of what is truly important are possible. How does this day affect karmic connections, purpose, and key choices? It is believed that Venus, at the peak of its brightness, illuminates fateful paths. Those who have long felt the inner call for change may finally realize which direction to move in. This day is like a crossroads of fate, where you can either stay on the old path or choose a new one, but more faithful. The real signs of karmic changes on this day are: people from the past appear in your life, with whom an important lesson has not been completed. You suddenly realize that you've been repeating the same scenario for a long time and are ready to change it. There are events that seem to force you to make choices that you've been avoiding. You receive unexpected messages, signs, invitations, offers that affect your life path. What events can happen during this period? Unexpected meetings leading to important acquaintances, breakups or intimacies that change your personal life, drastic changes in finances, work, and lifestyle, insights that lead to important decisions, the inner feeling that the past is behind us and a new stage is ahead. This day is like a moment of truth. If you feel changes in the air, it's not an accident. The energy of Venus is already at work, shaping events that will affect your destiny. The brightness of Venus on this day is not just an astronomical event, but a powerful energy pulse that permeates space and affects the perception of reality. At the moments when light reaches its peak, the boundaries between the visible and the invisible become thinner, and consciousness seems to go beyond the usual limits. You begin to notice things that previously escaped your gaze, to realize what previously seemed insignificant. In esotericism, it is believed that Venus holds the key to a deeper understanding of the truth. When it shines especially brightly, its light doesn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminates everything hidden inside us. These are the moments when intuition becomes heightened, when answers to long-nagging questions come naturally, and dreams are filled with signs and symbols that require decoding. How does this manifest itself? Some may notice that thoughts begin to flow in a new way, leading to unexpected insights. Suddenly it becomes clear why something didn't work out before, why fate led this way, and what steps should be taken next. Others will feel an inexplicable inner anxiety, as if something important is waiting for them. This may manifest itself as a premonition or a feeling that something is about to change. During such periods, it is especially important to listen to yourself, because Venus seems to speak through intuition, guiding you on the right path. One of the most striking signs is dreams and déjà vu. On this day, dreams can be especially intense and symbolic, and familiar situations can resemble something already experienced. This is not just a mind game, but messages from deeper levels of consciousness. All these are hints that the universe gives through the energy of Venus. How do you know that this light really affects you? You notice unexpected thoughts and realizations that seem important, but appear as if from nowhere. You start to see signs and coincidences that you would have missed before. You have a stronger sense of intuitive understanding of what is happening, as if you are reading between the lines. In a dream or in real life, images, phrases, and numbers that attract your attention are repeated. This is the day when consciousness goes beyond the usual. If you could ignore the signs before, now they are becoming too obvious to ignore. But the main thing is not just to see them, but to figure out what exactly they are trying to tell you. When Venus reaches the peak of its brightness, its energy does not just affect perception or inner awareness. It creates a field of opportunities that can either be used or missed. This day carries a special vibration that can guide you to new paths, help you discover your true desires, and, most importantly, see doors that previously went unnoticed. But, like any flow of energy, it can either be consciously directed in the right direction or passed over, leaving the changes to the will of circumstances. What should you do to make this day a moment of transformation for you, and not just another day on the calendar? Listen to yourself and your desires. At the moments when the light of Venus illuminates the sky with the greatest force, true desires manifest themselves more clearly than ever. It may be something that has been hidden for a long time behind fears, doubts, or other people's expectations. Venus is a planet that controls what brings joy and inner harmony, and on this day it helps to discard excess and focus on the main thing. Ask yourself the question, what do you really want? Not from the point of view of habit or logic, but at the level of sensations. What causes a response? Where does your heart start beating faster? Be attentive to what is happening around you. Venus is subtle. She doesn't give explicit signs, but those who can read her messages get hints. It can be an unexpected meeting, words spoken casually, an unexpected coincidence that starts a chain of reflections. The principle that is important to remember on this day: if something has attracted your attention, it means it is important. Any detail, even the smallest one, can be the key to understanding the next step. Make room for a new one. When Venus reaches its maximum brightness, it not only illuminates the way forward, but also helps you see what's holding you in place. This is a day when it's worth thinking about what it's time to give up. These may be outdated ideas about yourself that no longer correspond to your essence, fears that prevent you from taking a step in the right direction, habits that keep you from moving forward. This day is the perfect moment to break the invisible threads that bind you to the past and make room for something new. Use the energy of Venus to make decisions. Some decisions take a long time to come. A person may hesitate, delay, or seek additional confirmation. But there are times when procrastination is also a choice, and it is Venus in its maximum brightness that tells you it's time to act. If you are particularly worried about something on this day, if you are faced with a choice and waiting for a sign, perhaps it is already near. Act consciously, but without haste. The energy of Venus does not require sudden movements. It reveals, prompts, gives you the opportunity to understand more deeply, but does not force you to rush headlong forward. The main thing is to be open to change and not ignore the internal response that arises on this day. Let everything happen naturally, but if it seems to you that something is pulling you in a certain direction, it may not be accidental. This day is not a point, but a starting point. He creates an opportunity, but whether to take advantage of it or not is up to you. Will it be possible to do this later? Maybe. But then the light of Venus will no longer be so bright, and the path may become less obvious. And it's up to you whether you see him now or decide to wait a little longer.